Geno King Boxing back in the building, back with some more boxing news. And yes, it has just been announced. Earl the True Spence will be making his return against Sebastian Fundora late January in Arlington, Texas. Yes, it's going down, my people. Earl the True Spence making his return. It's going to be very interesting. A lot of fans, a lot of people around Dallas really want to see what does Errol Spence have left in the tank after his loss against Terrence Crawford and the way the loss happened. We all know he didn't just lose; it was bad, and we want to see, does he still have that same fire? Does he still have that same hunger? Come late January, will he be able to put on a show against a recent champion, Sebastian Fundora, who beat Tim Tszyu here? I believe that fight was in, May. Controversial win, though. Me personally, I think if Tim Tszyu wouldn't have cut his eye, Sebastian Fundora would not have won the fight. But can Errol Spence, do we think Errol Spence, a 5'8" guy, can come off an 18-month layoff and get in the ring with a champion like Sebastian Fundora right now? Sebastian Fundora is 6'6", has a huge reach, has a huge size advantage. Will Errol Spence be able to combat that? Will he be able to chop this big tree down and win his comeback fight after an 18-month layoff? Errol Spence has been out of the ring for 18 months. That's a long time. He's had long layoffs before, but 18 months, I think this might be one of his longest layoffs, if not the longest. The Crawford layoff, I believe, was like, what was that, like a year and like 4 months, and we seen what happened. And it's going to be very interesting to see how it looks getting in here with a 6'6" guy. Will Errol Spence be able to go up under Sebastian Fundora's jab and be able to get inside? That's the question a lot of people want to know. What game plan will Earl come with to be able to beat a guy like that? Because he's going to have to get on the inside. He's gonna have to stay close to a guy like Sebastian. Will Earl be 100%? That's what I want to know. Will his eye be 100%? You know, will his stamina, will everything be 100%? Because he's gonna have to be 100%, I believe, if he wants to go in here and snatch out this victory against Sebastian Fundora. At one time, Earl, man, we all know Earl was that guy in the division. And man, I'll even say this much. I even say Earl is still that guy. Earl is still the guy in the welterweight and super welterweight division. Is he the best? No, but he lost to a pound for pound great. He lost to a pound for pound great. Excuse me. It ain't like he lost to a guy like, just some guy out of the blue, some low-level guy. He lost to a pound for pound great. And with that being said, that's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And, he's had a lot of rest. He's had a lot of time to heal with this. The only thing I want to see, and I hope that's not damaged, is his psychological, the psyche. After you take a huge loss like how he did against Terrence Crawford, it can do something to the psyche. Will your confidence be there? A lot of fighters have came back after suffering a humiliating defeat or a bad knockout. A lot of fighters have come back. Will Earl have that mental toughness to be able to come back from a defeat like that after all the injuries, after the car wrecks? Will he be able to? I remember Lennox Lewis when he got knocked out by Raheem. Lennox Lewis was one of those guys that came back after a bad defeat. He was knocked out by Raheem, a fight that he was supposed to win. And he came back and, came back champion better than ever and went on to do great things in the heavyweight division after suffering that defeat. And I think Earl, for some reason, in the back of my mind, I think Errol Spence is cut from that cloth, the way he has that mental toughness, that he can come back and do his thing and get back to the top. Well, I'm not going to say the top because Terrence Crawford is at the top of that division. Me, honestly, just seeing the first fight, being there in person, watching the first fight, I don't think Errol Spence will ever be able to beat Terrence Crawford. I think Crawford is he's too crafty. He has too many tricks, and it's just one of those things. Crawford will always have Errol Spence's number. He's just too good. He was better than him in too many areas of boxing. We seen that July 29th of last year. But I do think Earl can come back and give the rest of these guys a run for their money. I really do. I think Earl is a hell of a fighter. I think Earl is great at what he does. Yeah, we were all saying he's a one-trick pony. And yeah, Earl is a one-trick pony, but I think he's really, really good at that one trick. He's a pressure fighter. He knows how to get in, and he knows how to get inside. Hell of an inside fighter. I think him and Andre Ward are two of the best inside fighters I've probably ever seen. Errol Spence and Andre Ward. Andre Ward was a hell of an inside fighter. And Earl has that. It's just Terrence Crawford, I think, was so good that night that he knows how to capitalize off somebody coming in, especially if you're a step slower than him. We seen that on I believe it was the second knockout, the second knockdown when Earl tried to creep in there and Earl caught him, but Crawford had already hit him with a tricky hook as he was coming down up against the ropes. Crawford kind of leaned up against the ropes and caught Earl while he was coming in and dropped him. I believe that was the second knockdown. And, he could get away with that with, B-level, B-plus fighters like Danny Garcia. And that's not taking nothing away from Danny. I think Danny was a good fighter, in his prime. But he could get away with stuff like that against guys like Danny Garcia, guys like that against like Mikey Garcia, Ugas. He could do that. Sean Porter, he gave Sean Porter a hell of a fight. That was a great fight. Spence versus Porter. And Spence, I believe, pulled that fight out. And if it wasn't for that knockdown, that fight could have went either way. It could have been a draw. But Spence, he was so gritty and tough. He dropped Sean Porter, I believe it was the 10th round, to get the victory. Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. I think Earl is still to this day one of my favorite fighters. Hell of a fighter, very tough. He just met his match that night, and if Earl can come back and prove the boxing world wrong and show the world that, like, hey, man, look, I'm back. I think he can shut a lot of people's mouths, But people want to see. People want to see will he come back is the fighter we all know. Yeah, so late January, Arlington Stadium. I wonder if it will be on pay-per-view. That's what I'm thinking. It could possibly be a pay-per-view fight. Earl is still a pay-per-view attraction, especially his comeback. Especially his comeback. And if he comes back and defeats a 6'6" Sebastian Fundora, man, it's going to shut everybody up. It's going to shut everybody up. So, but yeah, that's my opinion on the upcoming matchup between Errol Spence Jr., the Truth, against Sebastian Fundora. I got Errol Spence in this fight. That's who I'm going to roll with. I'm rolling with Errol this fight. I think Errol going to come back and do his thing and shut a lot of people up. But yes, this is Gino King Boxing. Y'all press that subscribe button, press that like button, and I'm out.